Independent Network News, brought to you by Grape Nuts Cereal and by the Mobil Corporation.
Country and city are becoming dotted with dishes, satellite dishes. Those dishes give television viewers access to dozens of stations and cable channels they ordinarily would not receive. Robert Miller has more.
This is not Cape Canaveral or the headquarters of some TV network. It's a rooftop in Brooklyn, New York. And this dish is bringing in transmissions from one of the dozen American and Canadian communications satellites now orbiting the Earth. The owner of this outfit is John Flynn, a hospital security guard. Intercepting the transmission of the cable companies without having to pay for them, sporting events, home movies, plus programs from other sources, gives John access to about 60 channels. What about those people who say that, well, you're stealing my program when you intercept my signal?
Nah, it's a lot of wind. Some of the suppliers have refused to accept payment from Earth terminal owners like myself. So who's stealing signals when they refuse to accept payment?
John put his outfit together with some how-to-do-it books and $7,500 for parts. The components are readily available. This firm in Hightstown, New Jersey will arrange for a complete installation for from $6,000 to $10,000. But don't size and cost limit the market?
It certainly limits it in an area that is surrounding a metropolitan area where we live. But if you consider that one of the major markets that we're looking toward is the rural areas where there is little or no television at the existing time, an expenditure of that sort and a unit of this size is not something that people would be afraid to have or not like to have in their backyard.
Proponents say that these Earth stations present no danger from high voltage and that the radiation they bring in is weaker than that produced by a microwave oven. In New York City, Robert Miller for Independent Network News.
A beautiful Saturday in these final days of summer, and it looks like Sunday is going to be even better. Clear skies tonight with temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow with less humidity, a high in the 80s. Right now in Midtown, it's 79 under clear skies.
And that's our report for this Saturday, September 12th. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
Independent Network News, brought to you by the Mobil Corporation and by Canon Copiers.
I'm Terry Blair.
And I'm Mike Jerick. And tonight we're at the United States Courthouse in Manhattan waiting for a decision. Tonight on PM Magazine, we'll find out about a fortune in lost silver in the channel between Staten Island and New Jersey. We'll meet some men who want to die for it. We'll see if the courts let them.
Then we'll see TV from outer space. These people built their own satellite receiving station, and now they dish up TV from around the world.
Also tonight, Chef Tell shops for fresh chicken and prepares a famous French dish.
And we'll have another PM Magazine Best Bet.
See you in court next
on PM Magazine. This is John Flynn from Brooklyn. We're actually on the top of his house, on his rooftop, watching him adjust this big white disc. It's kind of a TV antenna, like the little rabbit ears you have on your television set, except this one picks up over 100 channels. And tonight we're going to go to Detroit. PM Magazine's Ronnie Clemmer is going to tell us all about it when he tells us about Whole Earth TV.
Time was when television antennas were a rarity. Nowadays, it's the home without an antenna, which is rare, and more rooftops are adorned with 2 or 3, as homeowners take advantage of HBO, Ted Turner, and other super networks. But even the most avid television watcher would be amazed to see the reception at Ed Tomaszewski's house in Clinton Township. He and friend Bob Mall have created a super network of their own that plays right in their own homes. When they pull up a chair to watch the tube, they get stations from all around the world. all because of an antenna that plugs right into the broadcasting satellites that fly over America.
Like most people in America, I decided to upgrade my antenna system to improve local programming and go into some of the more distant programming. Shortly being dissatisfied with that, I went into HBO, dissatisfied with that, and then ultimately on TV.
And still it wasn't enough?
No, I knew there were bigger and better things out there, and I had to be some way to get them. And we didn't have cable and don't have cable as of date, so now I can choose my own programming when I want, and what I want, and how I want.
How much is there out there that you could get if you had one of these dish antennas?
60 to 200 channels.
Sandro. Among them are stations like the Spanish International Network, with programs from Mexico, South America, and Spain. This one is an ad for a Spanish movie, featuring two of Mexico's hottest stars.
Te puedo respetar como intérprete, pero como hombre no me moves un solo pelo.
Me enloqueces. Tú me enloqueces.
Whenever they want to switch over to a whole different satellite, it's a lot easier than you might think. The microwave antenna is called an earth station, or dish antenna, and Bob and Ed have it set up on a simple trailer. They can move it around, watch the TV through the back door, and see exactly when they've made contact with another satellite.
Okay, you see? There's a bird right there.
There's one.
You want to watch the monitor? That's Comstar. That's the mystery of finding satellites. Once you got the first one, they'll all fall in line, just like that one did.
How about a situation comedy in French?
French programming. It's probably that new transponder they just opened up so they can bring some of the stuff from France over.
Not even international satellites, it seems, are immune to the American sales pitch.
Le fureur spécial MFP aide à combattre la carie entre les visites chez le dentiste. Et toi, princesse, tes belles dents, tu les dois à Colgate.
Voyons donc, Colgate, c'est pour garder mon haleine fraîche.
All of this international access has only been possible in the last decade, as communications satellites like this Ford Intelsat 5 were hoisted into space on the backs of missiles to begin relaying signals. But only very recently have any private individuals been able to receive those signals, and to hear Bob explain it, you'd think it was a simple task.
Basically, we have a large parabolic reflector. Obviously, you point it up at the satellite to 22,300 miles up above the equator. Signal comes in, very weak signal. It's reflected because of the parabolic curve into the feed horn and LNA, which is a low noise amplifier. Then via a very low loss cable, we take it to our microwave receiver, which you can then tune the individual channel.
Almost 200 channels are beamed down from satellites with science fiction sounding names like SATCOM-1, Westar, Anik 3, and 8 others flying regularly over America. The TV guide of this domain is called SatGuide, and the range of programming it lists seems endless.
I get Nickelodeon, for example, a Warner production for the kids. I get approximately 7 premium television stations, Showtime, HBO, Cinemax, the Warner Movie Channel.
24-hour-a-day movies?
24-hour-a-day movies. I get 3 Christian channels. I get the super stations out of Atlanta, New York, Chicago. I get C-SPAN, which is a congressional channel. I get the Reuters News Service. I get Galavision, which is Spanish programming. And on and on and on. That's on one satellite, and I can access 11 satellites from where I'm at.
The FCC predicts that by 1985 there will be 20 satellites and close to 600 channels available, most of which will be charging homeowners for a hookup. That brings up an important question. Is Ed doing something illegal?
No, I'm not. I've contacted many of the premium pay TV stations and movie channels and said, I want your service. What is it going to cost me a month? They're not set up to provide the service to an individual. They say it costs too much to bill us. So I'm not illegal in the respect that in 1977 they deregulated the size of the antenna. They took it down from 30 foot in diameter to any size you wanted. Then they said in 1979 that there were no restrictions on it. You can put up an earth station, as it's called, and receive the programming. The airways are free.
The jury on that question is still out, but there's no question that the airwaves offer a fascinating world to Ed and his whole family.
It's terrible. You know, 2 o'clock in the morning comes and you decide to turn it off and go to bed, and you flip through the channels for another look, and you say, geez, there's something I haven't seen, or something really strange. And before you know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And then you do it again, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And then it's 7:45, and the kids have to go to school, and you're saying, geez, I haven't been to bed yet.
Ed, by the way, does not let his kids stay up that late, but he and Bob believe that satellite television addiction is potentially universal. So they've incorporated themselves as Earth Stations, Inc. and are setting up a business to manufacture and sell the dish antennas.
In 1975, to do what we're doing today would have probably cost about $700,000. And our system here, we figure anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 depending on the quality of radio. So we see it as a pretty viable business and a big upcoming market. In fact, in a lot of other parts of the country, it's really caught on.
It is in many ways the ultimate video game. And for Bob and Ed, a couple of self-taught technical wizards and would-be entrepreneurs, it just might turn into the ultimate gold mine.
John, as of now, it's free. Do they have any laws to regulate this?
No, right now it's legal. It's 100% legal. No license required. But the only problem is that some of the suppliers will not deal with people like me. They refuse to. They don't want money. You can send the money, $1 million check. They'll return it to you uncashed. And they just want to pretend we don't exist.
Can anybody buy one of these and set it up?
Sure they can. It's very easy.
How much? Out of my price range, I'm sure. In just a moment, we'll be back with more of PM Magazine.
He can pick up every NFL football game being played in the United States. That would be bad for me. Plus all those movies.
Movies, I know. Think of all the choices. We want everybody to have one choice tomorrow night. That's Channel 5 at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow night on PM Magazine, you'll meet. I want everyone to tune in tomorrow night, but I have one question. There's
What's
a
that?
problem. How do we get off this roof?
He took the ladder.
Yeah.
John, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Bye-bye.
Meriv salutes the hit record makers with Cal Rudman, Andy Gibb, Victoria Principal, and Bernadette Peters. Tonight at 8 on 5.